Hi everyone, my name is Liz I Read, and welcome to another video. Welcome to another daily reading vlog. I'm in the middle of one book right now. I'm physically reading Cold-Hearted Rake by Lisa Kleypas. This is book one in the Revenals series. I think they're all individual standalones. Romances. It's historical romance, and yeah, so this is book one. This is following Devin Revenal. He's inherited this earldom. His cousin has died, and Devin, he's a rake, and so he doesn't want responsibility at all. So he's really upset that he's inherited this earldom. And his cousin, he died by being thrown by a horse, and he just recently got married. It was days after his marriage to Lady Trenier. Her first name is Kathleen, and she's now a widow. She just got married. She's still quite young, and clearly it's their romances. This cousin, he left behind 3 sisters, so we got introduced, I think it's just 3. Yeah, 3. So there's an older girl, her name's Helen, and then there's these twins who are a bit rambunctious. They're probably either early 20s or not early 20s. They'd be probably in their teen years. Anyways, so far it's okay. Kathleen, she's just showing the rake around so far. I haven't read much. I read 28 pages. So I'm just about to start chapter 3. It's okay so far. Not so bad. I was in the middle of the Bridgerton series, and I read the first 3 books, and really enjoying that series. I just needed a break. I don't know why, but I'm not in the mood for Colin's book. I don't know why. I know it's a fan favorite, but I'm just not in the mood for that right now, but I'm still in the mood for Regency, and this sounded good. I'm not sure how I feel about it. I like the writing, but I'm just not sure about the romance. But I also thought I'd maybe pick up an audiobook, and I've been reflecting about audiobooks, and I think nonfiction is the way to go for me. I always enjoy a good nonfiction audiobook. So I downloaded a few that I was interested in. I have The Stars in Our Pockets by Howard Axelrod, and the tagline is "Getting Lost and Sometimes Found in the Digital Age." So it's kind of talking about technology and how we get lost in it sometimes. I thought that was interesting. Also have The Secret Life of Groceries by Benjamin Lohr, where it's the tagline here is "The Dark Miracle of the American Supermarket." So talking about how how supermarkets are actually run, and I guess maybe the dark secrets of supermarkets. I thought that was going to be really interesting. I love learning about food. I find it interesting, which sounds weird, but either diets or the industry itself. So I thought that sounded interesting. I've seen this one for a long time. It's just called Maid. It's written by Stephanie Land, and it's about, she was a maid for a really long time, I guess. And the tagline is "Hard work, low pay, and a mother's will to survive." So I guess it's about her career as being a maid. And then finally, The Way Home, written by Mark Boyle. The tagline for this one is "Tales from a Life Without Technology." And I love learning about alternative lifestyles, specifically very different from my own. So this one, just removing technology and what life is like without technology, I find super interesting. So yeah, I'm really excited for any of these. I'm not sure which one I'm going to pick up, but I might listen to it while I put around the house. I'm in the car because I have to get groceries, so I'm going to go out quickly and pick up some food. And I do have some stuff to do around the house, so maybe I'll be listening to an audiobook. Maybe I'll listen to it while grocery shopping. Not too sure. I have to see what I want to get into. So I just decided to read The Stars in Our Pockets only because it's 5.5 hours. So I thought, let's pick the shortest one and see how it goes. And yeah, so I'm going to start that one.
Who they'd been when her great-grandmother was younger. She eyed me sidelong. "You're just making excuses." Then she brought her face close to mine and mouthed the words as though they were too shameful to say aloud. "You got lost."
She left her home to find
So I went and got groceries, just a few things, not a lot. But I started The Stars in Our Pockets, and I think I understand what's going on in this book. This author, he wants to provide a guide on how to navigate our digital world. And he starts out talking about how he lost his vision in one eye, and how he went away after university to kind of have like a couple years in the woods, and he just lived a really simple life trying to learn how to perceive his world again, because he lost a lot of like depth perception and he just couldn't see as well. He's basically partially blind, right? And when he came back from those 2 years, the digital age started to really boom, and smartphones became a real thing. And I kind of had a similar situation, kind of, where I lived in the UK for like 8 months, and my husband and I never had a smartphone, and things were starting to change, and we lived very differently in the UK. Like, we had just like a brick phone. We didn't have cable anymore, and it was kind of similar in that way where I didn't really watch YouTube the way I do now, and I don't know, it was just like I could kind of relate to him. But anyways, this book is, I guess, in a way teaching us how to navigate this digital world and how this digital world changes the way we view society. And he talks about like neurological things, how basically we're living in two worlds. We're living in the normal world, and then we're living in the digital world, and the digital world has a totally different set of rules that are different than in the normal world, which is so true, like, in a lot of ways. So it's kind of interesting. I've only just started chapter 1, but I've read like 45 minutes almost. So it's interesting. I'm kind of like half listening, so I think that's why I'm not quite understanding quite yet. But it is interesting, and I need to figure out what I'm going to do. It's going to be a hot day, and we don't have AC, and we've had a few like epically hot days, and so we're trying this new thing. I opened the window just to film this clip, but we're gonna try and close every window and every blind to try and keep it cool in the house, and we'll probably spend a lot of time in the basement. But I have some puttering around to do. The house is a bit crazy because we just came back from camping, and so I have a lot of laundry to do. I have some dishes to do. So I think I'm going to keep listening. It's interesting. And then hopefully I'll find some time to read physically the Rake book.
She left her home to find where she belongs. Her mother's kid.
Okay, so that audiobook that I've been listening to is just not working out. It's boring. I'm not enjoying myself, so I need to figure out what I want to listen to, and so I think I'm going to go on my phone for a little bit and figure out what I'm going to do with that. Soon I'll have to make lunch, but I think it's good that I find an audiobook to listen to. So, I don't know. I'm going to go on my phone for a bit and see what I can find.
Pussy was joking. I feel a wave of humiliation. What's he going to think when a picture of a Scrabble board arrives on his phone?
So, it's much later, and I switched what I'm reading. I don't know if you can see that, but I've Got Your Number by Sophie Kinsella, and I'm really enjoying it. It's really, really good. This is the right move for me. I'm completely engaged. I love Sophie Kinsella so much. She's one of my favorite authors, so it's actually amazing. I haven't read this yet. So this story is, we're following a young woman. It's always a young woman, and she's always a little a little silly, but I love it because the comedy is great. And she is engaged to this young man named Magnus, and she loses the wedding ring, and it's like a family heirloom, and she is in this pickle, And in the meantime, she loses her cell phone. She's at like a hotel lobby, and in this like chaotic situation, she happens to find a phone in the garbage can, and she takes it out and uses it because she needs a phone in order to find the ring. She lent it out to her friends, and they were like trying it on and things like that, and then somehow it went missing. So she finds this phone, and she finds out that the phone is owned by this gentleman who's a businessman. I forget what kind of work he does, but he's like part of a big corporation, and he's really busy. And this phone specifically was for his PR person, or PA, I should say, personal assistant, who walked out on him, and so they dumped the phone and just left. And so she is helping him forward emails and stuff. They make this arrangement where she will help him out with his work if she can just keep the phone in order for her to eventually find this ring, because she's handed out this cell phone number to everyone. So in order to help her find this ring, in the meantime, you get to know her and her fiance and what their relationship is like, and what her relationship with her fiance's parents is like. And it's very clear that, you know, this may not be a great match. She has like a rough relationship with her fiance's parents, and she feels like she doesn't fit in because they're all academics and they do a lot of studying and they're constantly talking about academia and the research that they are doing, and she just doesn't feel like she fits in, and she feels like they constantly talk down to her and kind of don't include her in conversation, and they don't have normal conversations. It's all about high intellectual thinking and debating and things like that, and she just doesn't fit in. And so I'm really enjoying it. In the meantime, she's kind of having this text messaging relationship with this man, this businessman, and his name is Sam, and she's kind of like snooping around his business affairs, and on the side is helping him, and as a favor back, he is going to help her with this missing ring, and she's about to get married, and so on and so forth. So it's really entertaining, it's really funny. There's just like the silliest things always happen in these books, and honestly, I'm totally here for it. It's just laugh out loud funny, the situations these women are always finding themselves in. And so it is a little anxious because she's keeping this information from her fiance and her fiance's parents about this ring. She hasn't told them that she lost it and that she can't find it. And so you can tell like the tension is getting to a head, and you don't know which direction it's going to go. In the meantime, you want her to leave her fiance because he's like a little bit awful, and his parents are a little bit awful. And so yeah, I'm really enjoying it. I think I might just keep like listening to it. I have a bunch of laundry I will be having to fold. I also feel like I ought to read some more of this, but I'm enjoying like this a lot. I've Got Your Number, so I don't know what I'm going to do, but that is the position I'm in right now. So I'm currently on chapter 6 on I've Got Your Number. I've listened to 3.5 hours. I have 10 hours left. It's a long audiobook. Her books are fairly long. They're usually like 400 pages at least, so I'm going to keep going. It's a lot of fun. That's my current update.
I stare at the phone, my heart beating with slight paranoia. Does he need to know about this right at this very moment?
She left her home to find where she belongs. Her mother's scared to leave her all alone.
It's gotten super hot. We're in the middle of a heat wave right now, so I may look a little damp. So, last update. I'm obsessed with this story. I'm just like, can't get enough of it. I'm really enjoying it. I've read 7 hours, and I have 6 1/3 left. Sadly, I have to stop listening to it, even though I don't want to stop listening to it because I'm like obsessed. Like, it's so good. So I definitely recommend it. I feel that way about any Sophie Kinsella, but I'm really enjoying listening to it. But that's the end of this vlog. So I tried one book, it didn't work out. Tried a second one, I've Got Your Number, and making great progress. I've listened to like half the book, and I'm going to continue on it tomorrow, and hopefully I can start on the other book, the Rake one. I don't remember what it's called. Didn't get to it, but I'll definitely get to it maybe tomorrow. So that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Please subscribe if you have not done so. You can follow me on Goodreads and Instagram, and you know what? I want you to keep reading. Bye.